Greetings. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Jim, and we're returning once more to Torment, Tides of Torment, Tides of Numenera. We're going to keep going from where we left off, and now dig into material I have not seen before. So I think that's going to be fun. As always, I've forgotten things, because of course I have. That's how this works. There was a thing I wanted to pull up that I haven't pulled up yet, that I should go ahead and pull up so that I have it here in front of me for when I do this. Because once again, this is I'm gonna be playing through this what I'm pretty sure is the final arc, but I do want to kind of make sure that I have a thing that tells me other things. Yes, that's clear. That's perfectly clear, isn't it? There is a anyway, yeah, there's a sort of a guide thing I'm going to be using potentially so that we can actually get through this thing. Because it's been a while and I'm tired. So we're gonna see. But I'm gonna go at first for a while. I'm gonna do what I can without it. But then we'll see. We'll see if I feel it lagging. We'll see what happens. But I've got it ready just in case. Okay. Once again, I'm just going to hit load game because I just want to see where we are. Mavericks Courtyard post chat. Okay. I don't know, it could be recursive. It's hard to say, really. I don't know how the bloom works. Applying effort on attacks is critical to success in crises, but be careful not to drain your pools too quickly. That is fair. We're going to need to rest soon, I think. I think some of us are somewhat drained already, yes? Are we? Okay. How are we doing? Matkina is kind of drained of, it's mostly might that we've been taking hits on, I think. Yeah, might and some degree of speed, some of us. Okay. So we need to kind of figure out what we're doing. So let's start by doing the first thing that we usually do when we do something like this, and that's let's figure out the geography here. So let's kind of look around and see what happens in the bloom and where we are.
Fine.
All of those many things. Refugee. Hello? As long as those thieves keep after Kian, they're not coming after me. Oh, they're thieves. Okay. We can't interact with the thieves. We can interact with Kian. So let's do that. Here, let me stand and talk to you while people continue to kick me. A woman barefoot in rags stands defensively beside her tent. Despite her obvious poverty, she crosses her arms and holds her chin high. And what do you want? By the way, I didn't. Wait, let me go ahead and turn on the... Yeah... actually do this here. Where am I? Game lower right. Content warnings? Are these the right ones? Here, let me actually read what I typed in there, because that would help. Yes, there we go. Good. All right, I've got that on. Just for anybody, we have, just identity crisis and potential body horror and and such also possibly going on with this setting, biological horror to an extent, so just so people are aware. And now, back to Thieves. Despite her obvious poverty, she crosses her arms and holds her chin high. And what do you want? Scanning thoughts, another dangerous-looking one. Gods, is there no end to the predators in this place? Who are those people who ran off? Has someone run off? Because I feel as though someone has not run off yet. You look like you could use some help? Damn it. She lowers her arms. An offer of help, that's certainly a first. Yes, I admit I could use some. I've had my fill of predators and the insane. Great. Gold tide raised a tiny amount. Yeah, that's probably... It's funny, isn't it? Because it does, you know, I guess this could be considered ableist. Is what we're looking at in terms of talking about people insane in that fashion, but at the same time, I don't know what it is that she's had to deal with, so I'm not saying anything is... I'm not saying anything is okay. Nothing's ever okay. I'm learning that. There is no okay. But, you know, I want to make sure at least we're understanding humanity right now as best we can. Maybe they ran so fast their shadows haven't left yet. That's entirely possible. She points her chin in the direction of the tunnel that leads out of the courtyard. They're called Dany and Vrong. They've been squeezing money out of me for months. Protection, they call it, though obviously they only mean from them. I wish I could do more than simply cave to their demands, but as you can see, I'm not exactly equipped to defend myself. All I can do is survive. It's all I can do to survive. Yes, there we go. Read the words in order, Jim. How often do they steal from you? Too often. I barely have enough to feed myself, and then they take what's left. Usually more than what's left. Maybe I can help. Where did they go? Aren't they, like, standing right there? They crawl out of the hole somewhere deeper in the bloom. Little Neeliash, I think it's called. I'm not the sort to wish violence upon anyone, even people like them, but I hope something happens to stop them. I'm so naive, hoping for help, still no harm in pointing one potential thug to another. Tell me about yourself. She gives a weak smile and curtsy. My name is Kian, the Bloom's most pitiable storyteller and self-styled innkeeper, though I admit that inn is hard to find a word for my little tent. Ah, it's a place to sleep. No, that's all we need. So I can provide a meal, bedroll, and at least a modicum of entertainment in the form of tales from my homeland. Before I came here, I was a noblewoman, believe it or not. A courtier from Styrthal. She gets a faraway look in her eyes. I'm not sure where Styrthal is. I have to go back and look that up. It feels like a previous life. I wonder if I'll ever find my way back. She shakes her head. I suspect not. Even if I could leave the Bloom and learn the direction of the Steadfast, the journey itself would be lethal. Okay, it is somewhere in the Steadfast, so might be good to find that out. One day. Look at her closely. Sure. You notice immediately that her rags are actually made of a high-quality fabric. It appears that they were once a fine green dress or gown. Although it is now filthy and torn, she catches you looking and straightens her posture, seeming almost regal for a moment. How'd you get here? You've seen the Katina, I assume. She gestures broadly at the massive broken vehicle behind her. Oh, that thing? All right. Being slowly subsumed by bloom flesh. It's a kind of magical carriage capable of traveling great distances by skipping over the space in between. Ah! Governor Marisek's priests determined that it came through the Styrthal on a very precise schedule. It would appear at one of a few locations near Styrthal every 73 hours. Yes, yes. Well, among the nobles it became a sort of adventure. We would dare one another to board the Katina or even hold parties at a location where it was scheduled to appear. It was exciting. I knew people who went on such journeys and came back with the most wonderful tales. I'd spent a couple of days meeting strange, fascinating people and visiting wild locales. Some I'm fairly certain were not even in the Ninth World. I had to see for myself. That's one of the things I like about the setting, is you can just pop across dimensions, and it's not that weird. Isaac always had the most romantic tales. Clouds of crystal, Picala's shimmering fields, a dome of water in the desert. A dome of water in the desert? That sounds cool. So about a year ago, my friends and I threw a Katina gala in anticipation of its arrival. We packed and dressed for adventure, and when the carriage arrived, we boarded immediately. She claps her hands in front of her and sighs. Sadly, that was the Katina's final journey. It crashed here, tunneling through part of the bloom. Most of the passengers were killed in the crash, and the rest in the months since. I'm all that's left of that voyage. Good Lord. I only wished for a tale half as romantic as his were. Sadly, that will never be. Let's talk about something. I can even hear them kicking. Never mind. You're a very strong person to have survived for so long. Silver and indigo tides. Okay. I never considered myself strong. If I was truly strong, I might have kept the others alive too, she sighs. But thank you. Yeah. Where's Stirthal? Hundreds of kilometers from here, from what I've learned. As I understand it, the bloom is located in what we in Stirthal call the Beyond. Or actually, Beyond the Beyond, as I'd never heard of the Sagas Protectorate or any of the places people talk about here. Yeah, on the map, it's very, it's very west of where we are currently. Do I still have the map? Do I still have the map? Do I? Not loaded anywhere, so let's not worry about it right now. But I thought for a moment, what if we had the map to show? I remember showing it at one time, but anyway, let's not worry about that right now. Back to this. Alright. We're very far east of where the main tabletop game takes place. Stirthal is one of the largest cities in the Steadfast. I remembered it so well. It perches on the edge of an enormous rift in the ground called Voile Chasm. Some streets and buildings even protrude from the cliffsides, not unlike your Sagas cliffs, as I understand it. It's a cultural jewel in an otherwise war-torn nation. Okay. I'd like to sleep here. Not right now, though. Farewell, sir. Wait, they're fading? Are they fading?
You want it done right.
There they go! Just have to, like, walk over them, and then they run away. So they hadn't done that yet, because we hadn't actually triggered the thing. The algorithm that sends them running. This tent is made from scavenged canvas and flimsy wooden poles. It smells faintly of sweat. But here is a place to sleep, so that is a good point. Can I sleep here? Of course, there'll be 65 shins each. Never mind! Let's actually see about possibly helping her first. They might not charge us money. I have 343 shins. 65 each means... I know, Jim is doing math in his head very quickly, and unfortunately it's too quickly for his own good. 260. Stop! Don't do the math for me, damn you! Let me suffer, damn you! I just looked up and saw that after I said 260. I was like, damn! No, thank you, I appreciate that. So that's most of what we have here right now. So I'm gonna actually wander around a bit and see about what would need to happen. Probably just dealing with the thieves first. Let's see. Okay, in progress. Okay. We have quests now in our quest journal once again. So I've arrived. It's really universal suffering, really. Dracogen's price. I have arrived in the bloom seeking the first cast-off. Dracogen, a self-proclaimed information broker, suggested that I speak to the Mavericks. I'm just say it that way. I don't know how the developers say it, but I'm going to assume. So let me go on a 500-minute tangent about what I believe about pronunciation. I think even when you're dealing with a fictional world, if you want it to be at all realistic, different people will still pronounce things differently. So there's no official pronunciation for everything, just like in the real world, actually. But you don't believe me? Next time you get into an argument with someone about how to pronounce something, figure out which judge you're supposed to go to find out what the right way to say it is. It's not the dictionary. The dictionary is a report of what's popular. Okay, I'm done. Let's see. Everything's made up. If the first Castoff is truly alive and hiding here, the Mamarvra would know. Unfortunately, meeting the Mamarvra face-to-face is out of the question without a proper introduction. Dracogen would be happy to provide this introduction if I can procure an item called the Magmatic Amulet for him. Oh, yes! Caramel/Caramel is an excellent example of people going to war, almost, pretty much, over how to say a thing. Dracogen told me to follow the caravan route from the Mamarvra's courtyard to the trade post. That's where I'll find a maw that will take me to the Ascension. Okay. Broken hearts. Tiber's past is waiting for him in the predatory darkness of the bloom. What? Bring Tiber to Dracogen. Dracogen wants me to reunite with Tiber, his old friend. I'm very concerned now about Tiber, just a bit. I mean, he was, as I recall, he was pretty much he was kind of a jerk in the first place when he was traveling with us, but still. Serve of the Tides. I freed something from the mirrors in the buried crossroads. Now it seems to be calling to me from inside my own mind. Learn more about the tides and speak to again. Oh yeah, showed me another of its memories, its long imprisonment at the hands of unknown captors, and the moment where the changing god first learned of the tides. Now it seems the creature wants me to improve my tidal affinity even further, but not from a Castoff this time. I saw a vision of the person I should speak to, a being from beyond this reality, open through a gate in a man's body. Now that is somewhere here, I think. If I recall my reading ahead, there is someone here in the bloom that can do this. But I do not remember the specifics, as this was some time ago that I checked on that, but we'll see. Eratus also we have to deal with. Eratus has been acting strange ever since we entered the Valley of Dead Heroes. I need to figure out what's bothering him. I spoke to Eratus, the true Eratus in the Labyrinth, who's still there right now, I think. Before he became the man I met in Sagus, he was a simple herdsman who stumbled across a box of demons. He has asked me to help drive the demons out of him and return him to the way he was. I need to find someone knowledgeable, maybe a doctor, who can help him. Okay. And there's apparently someone in the bloom who can do that. And Twice the Trouble, the new one. Kian, a refugee who lives in the Mamarvra's courtyard, is being harassed by a pair of thugs. I offered to help her deal with the problem. The two thugs are named Delny and Vrung, and they're hiding in the slum of Little Niliesh. I should track them down and have a talk with them. I keep wanting to say Niliesh also. Speaking of pronunciations, because of nihilism, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. Not sure what the root word was. Box of demons sounds like a piece of random loot in a dragon's hoard. I would love to come across a box of demons in a dragon's hoard. Actually, no, I wouldn't, but I would love to arrange for that to happen to someone else. No one specific, just, player characters. That would be fun. Anyway. So, caravan route, if I want to do that. Okay, good. Okay. Give it to Pope. No, Pope would just make friends with the demons. That's what he does. All right. And also, we have this massive codex full of things. Full of things. About things that we've done already. Or people, or things we've done. People we've run into. Various things. I'm going to leave it on the screen for just a second because I'm going to leap up and turn on the AC because it is warm. I'll be right back. See, one of the problems with living in central North Carolina is that we don't have proper seasons as such. We have, well, it's been described in various ways. We kind of have, we have winter, and we kind of, sort of, and we didn't really have much of a winter this year. This year's winter was more just sort of rain. And then we have summer. But then we have mostly fights between those two states of being, sort of in between. We used to have autumn, like not long ago, like a year or two ago. And that lasted for about 6 weeks. Just like a year or two ago. So when we have autumn, it's about 6 weeks long. And then spring, I think we used to have spring, although we haven't had it much since I've been living here the last decade. Generally, spring is scheduled for the last Sunday in late March. Last Sunday in March between 9:45 a.m. and 11:15 a.m. That's when spring happens, theoretically. But that's about it. Sometimes it's in April. Okay. And now, more things. Shall I save the game again? Of course I shall. And I shall cause my computer to freeze by trying to make it do too much. There we go. Yeah, we schedule spring. That's I hate to tell you this, but what we're scheduling isn't so much spring as the idea of spring, really. It's when we imagine spring is happening. Of course, that could be said for all seasons. I don't know. Okay. The map is a little bit bigger. There's the crashed Katina. There's the slave auction. Yeah. So, what I'm seeing here is that from the audience is you try to schedule spring, but 70s in March followed by snow in April makes it difficult. Yeah, I can see how that would. What a beautiful landing. The captain gently parted the walls of the bloom just so.
Something to do.
I can't read that.
All right.
I have to be higher up to read that from the top. Let me see if I can get into a place where I can read that. The massive vehicle appears to have crashed through the nearby wall. Bloom flesh has resealed the hole and is beginning to grow across the vehicle's surface. Okay. You recognize the vehicle as a Katina, a hyperdimensional transport from a prior world. Okay. Can you repair the Katina? I don't know. I'm going to take a look at it. It's a prior world vehicle. I don't know if anyone knows how to repair that. As long as those thieves keep after Keon, they're not coming after me. Right. What part of the ship do you think this is? The nose, maybe, or a nose-shaped ass? The bloom gives, the bloom takes, the bloom feeds. It feeds me and it feeds on me, but the Catina's warm to the touch. Oh, so they huddle around it for warmth. That's, yeah. It's kind of what happens. It's, yeah. It's, repurposed stuff. These tents look and smell like the nests of vermin. Like nests of vermin. They're littered with moldy blankets and scraps of rotting food.
Go.
Interact. A panel has fallen away from the side of the crashed Catina, exposing a compartment that is filled with machinery. Waves of energy radiate from it like heat haze. Maybe we can do something with it, we'll see. Most of the machinery in the compartment is smashed and unrecognizable, hanging by wires and strips of torn synth. In the open spaces between the machines, tiny vortices of light and energy occasionally spring into being, obliterate everything they happen to touch, and then vanish again. You recognize the vortices as minuscule singularities in space-time. Their presence suggests that this Catina is powered by a trans-dimensional power source, which might be accessible from its aft section. Good God. As your eyes grow accustomed to the weird, blurry haze, you notice a synth canister near the back of the compartment. It appears to be intact. If you stretch out your arm, you might be able to reach it. But if a vortex opens at the wrong time, you could be seriously hurt. Ah! So try to recover the canister or peer more carefully at the canister. Let's peer at the canister first before we start, you know, sacrificing limbs. Can we fashion? How do we get at these singularities? And more importantly, can we fashion a gun out of them? That's the question, right? Peer more carefully at the canister. If the interior of the Catina is anything like a mechanical engine, you'd guess that the canister is some kind of coolant. Alright? Though given the size of the Catina's engine, it's probably much more powerful than It's probably much more powerful than anything you've seen before. You suspect that the canister could be repurposed as a single-use device that could freeze anything or anyone in a matter of seconds, which is why we want to get it. Anything else in the compartment I should find? Most machinery is broken. Every so often, vortices. All right. Sure, let's give it a try. This is best attempted, so I can get up to 80% if I spend like 5 speed. My base is 0. Rin's base is 10. She can get up to 90% if she spends 4 speed. Dude's base is 0. Eratus' base is 0, and he can get up to 55% if he spends 3 speed. And Makina, whom I'm expecting to be more likely to be able to do this, is at base of 35%. But it can only get up to 75% because I haven't upped her, her ability to use effort. 75's not bad, though. 80 is better. 90 is better than that. But that's really a question, right? Yes, let's use the child. No. Well, we're already here. Let's give this a try. No! Failure! You reach your hand in the compartment and start working the canister free, but you are not quick enough. A vortex opens close to your arm, searing your flesh. You lose your grip on the canister, and it snaps back into place. Okay. We're going to leave the compartment alone for now. Yes, but of course, I'm the one that got hurt. That's only a 25% chance of death. That's right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and actually restore the game because there's not much. We didn't lose. We won't lose very much time. Part of me wants to just sort of wait. I'll try one more time. I think, but part of me wants to just sort of wait until we have the ability to rest without having to pay, which I think will happen if we take care of those thieves. But then again, we'll need to be well rested enough to take care of the thieves, so it's a strange cycle. But then again, having a freezing canister would help us take care of the thieves. Yeah, it's all a thing what happens. Yeah, we try that again. We've already read this. We peer more carefully. And we're going to try to recover the canister, and we're going to give it to Rin, who will spend half of her available speed to get us 90%. We got it. Success! You reach into the compartment, fingers scrabbling at the smooth synth of the canister, trying to work it loose. A tiny vortex flares to life near your arm, but you snatch it away, and the vortex misses you by a few centimeters. With a final twist, you pull the canister free. We gained XP. XP! The canister is icy cold to the touch. On one end, you find a release valve. If you opened it all the way, the coolant could be sprayed out, freezing anything it touches. Now, the important question is this a cipher? And the answer is yes. So now we have to juggle it and figure out how many who has room for a cipher. Use it now! No, don't use it now. Please, God, don't use it now. So it does 25 chemical damage and it stuns someone. Okay. Cool. Okay, who in fact is carrying this canister if it is indeed a cipher? That would be me. I am at my cipher limit currently. No, wrong. Just want to see who has room for ciphers. Rin might? Yeah, that's open, so that might be a space. Why do I keep doing that? Matkina definitely has room. Eritus also has room. Huh. I mean, technically, I think I still have room also because I've got space here and here and here and here. So I think I should be okay. It's really a question of who do you want to have the thing before... Because he can't necessarily try to do everything at once. Alright, well, we'll just keep going here. Not going to think about that too hard. We are incanistered. Okay. Yeah!
Sure it's safe.
No, it's not safe. I mean, it might be safer than it was.
Here comes the boredom slayer.
Okay, let's take a look at the this delightful slave auction that's going on. What's happening outside in the city? Who runs the council now? What? Okay, we looked at all that last time.
I think that's best.
I don't know. Why is Rin... Why does... Why does Rin always second guess everything we do? It's making me nervous. Everything is safe, within some arbitrary tolerance.
Happy to help.
Oh, there's a Philithus here. We don't want to talk to the... I don't know, do we? There's a thug. There's Parson Flint. Perhaps he stole it from a child, from a... What do you know, his crime is Flint. How do we even know he's suitable? What is this that is happening? Bedraggled slaves look up at you through a net of energy that is stretched over the pit. Okay, there's a Bloom cultist there. That sounds fascinating. Explorer. Bloom guide. As you approach the Philithus, it gives an immense groan like some vast hulk breaking at the sea. Breaking at sea, at last the groan becomes a word. Violator! A moment later, in a blinding flash of light, it vanishes. Isn't that what it did last time? I'm pretty sure we tried talking to a Philithus and it vanished on us. Hey, how's it going? Makina, I'm just doing my job. Don't hurt me. I serve the position of Mamavra, not the person. The position of Mamavra, not the person. So having Makina here is an advantage. Hello, Explorer. I'm looking to buy mutants, but all I see are depressingly human specimens. A shame. Oh, great. There are times, though, I will admit, the one thing in there, though, is that I do at times admit that I sometimes find myself to be depressingly human. The guy told me I need a murderous aeronaut to open my maw. I'm going to be here a long time. Bloom guide. I was a Bloom slave once. Better to be on this side of the auction, let me tell you. Good God. Explorer. They say there is a second ocean in the depths of the earth. I seek a maw to take me there. Okay. I'm trying to remember, actually.
Let's go.
And, well, you know, there have been books that have come out that I have not yet read about the
All right, Ren.
the world of Numenera. So could be into the deep. Ah, Flint. Flint has something special in his pens today. I can see it in his eyes. Okay. Flint is a man who enjoys his work, always smiling. That one. Enough chit chat. Who will give me 420 for this blight on society? It's my first time buying a Bloom slate. Exciting, eh? You're an explorer? Good for you. I'm a buyer, and you're distracting me. I'm lining some extremely synth pods, but the damn maw shut on me. Need to get it open in a hurry.
Done.
Alright, so before we, before we talk to the auctioneer, actually just going to save over this one, because we haven't done anything since. Oh, we did talk to that one guy. We talked to the Philithus. Ah! Bloom slaves. Parson Flint, that little man, turns toward you, a wide smile already on his face. Indeed, his smile is unnaturally wide, reaching almost to his ears. You notice that his mouth contains 2 rows of white, well-manicured teeth. You got me in the midst of an auction, sir, but no need to beg pardon. My clients will wait. He leans forward conspiratorially. I find that a short delay in the proceedings gets them talking amongst themselves and sparks their competitive natures. Good for prices. The smile gets even wider, if that's possible. Parson Flint is my name, and the disbursement of so-called slaves to so-called owners for the betterment of both parties is my trade. What sort of slave are you looking for? What are my options? I think I'm in the wrong place. What you're doing here is wrong. Why would I want a slave? Flint blinks in surprise, but his smile doesn't falter. To feed Maws, of course, unless you're planning to let them feed on you. I wouldn't advise that. The little man shudders dramatically to emphasize the point. Fresh to the bloom, this one. He's not a licensed buyer, for sure, then. Naturally, it helps to know what a Maw wants before you go buying a slave. Not much point in buying a slave who isn't appetizing to the Maw in question. Then he adds in a whisper, you'd be surprised how many people would make that mistake. Flint gives you a knowing wink, as if to emphasize the silliness of those people. Still, you never know. Maybe he would be interested in the boy. The boy? Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like they're selling people to just be, to be slain, to get Maws to open up. That's great. Rin urgent tugs urgently at her garment and you glance down at her. You have to buy one. Buy all of them if you can. I only have 343 shins, but we'll see. Flint notices the little girl for the first time. Oh, what a darling child you have there, and smart, too. Are you looking forward to feeding your slaves to a Maw, my dear? Oh, God. Ah! Not for a Maw, when Rin whispers, ignoring the little man. We have to set them free. What are you exactly? An auctioneer? Indeed not, sir. I'm a public servant. My work is indispensable to the fair city of Sagus Cliffs. Uh-huh. I help these unfortunate wretches, he gestures at the slaves in the pit, pay their debt to society, as it were. So, basically you're an auctioneer. Flint bristles, but he keeps smiling. As I said, I'm a public servant, sir. If not for my work, the criminal elements of Sagus Cliffs would have no choice but to rot in prison or die by the axes, as in the days of our uncivilized ancestors. Suppose murdering the seller isn't an option. I mean, I haven't... See, we can only see what's right here. I don't know if there are... what else might be hanging around here to attempt to murder us in turn. Yeah, but we'll see. As I said, I'm not for my work criminals, so I have no choice but to run for the... Yeah. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. So yes, killing doesn't seem to be on this list. So I'd like to buy a slave. Great. Maybe you better explain how slavery works around here. I don't know. Certainly, these slaves, Flint nods at the bedraggled men and women in the pit, are convicts of the foulest sort. They're the very dregs of Sagus Cliffs and our surrounding communities. Oh, I see. Prisoners with jobs. That's the term. In order to pay their debt to society, many choose bloom slavery instead of prison or execution. These individuals are given to me, and I sell them to the enterprising merchants who ply the bloom. A magnanimous arrangement to think that execution is the only option in some lands. Usually my clients come to me with specific requirements. Every Maw has its own unique tastes, you see, and it won't open until it gets precisely what it wants. So I offer an appropriate slave, and they feed that slave to the Maw. And everyone is happy. Flint grins, both rows of teeth shining whitely from inside his enormous mouth. The slaves volunteer to be eaten? Flint blinks, apparently taken aback. They're desperate people, and being fed to the bloom is not a death sentence. Well, not always. Yeah. Sometimes the bloom only devours certain aspects of a person, and they're entirely changed for the better. Really? Really? It's good for them. Or it takes a small trivial part of them, an eye or half a stomach, or their ability to feel love. Yes, a trivial part of them. Oh, God. And spits them out into another world where they can start their lives anew. Flint beams at the thought of it all. Oh, God. Once a Maw feeds on a slave, that slave is free. That's the law, mind you. Unless the Murdens get hold of you. Flint crinkles his nose in disgust. They don't give a bird's turn about such things. Oh, Murdens, okay. I still can't believe a slave would volunteer to be eaten. Look at this look at it from their point of view. They're choosing between life in the dungeons or worse, execution and a chance at redemption. Oh, I know it's a roll of the proverbial dice, but a maw won't always kill you. Oh, great. Let's raise the question, what is humanity? So these slaves are all criminals. Of varying sorts, yes. The more vicious, the better, at least as far as my clients are concerned. Flint leans toward you again, his voice falling to a theatrical whisper. The bloom has a taste for the criminal element. Dangerous, predatory sorts of people draw its attention, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Hey, aquatic creep. Hey, how's it going? We're playing Torment, Tides of Numenera. And right now we're talking to a slave auction here. Trying to figure out a way to free the people down here. Alright. What is a maw, anyway? Maws are the mouths of the bloom, my friend. Sometimes they lead to other worlds, or to hidden pockets elsewhere in the bloom. One never knows, but that's part of the fun, you see. Always pop in just before mass extinction. I mean, it's going to happen one at a time, probably, as they get auctioned off, but, you know, we'll see. Let's see. How do you know what a maw wants? Ah, but that is the question. Sometimes you can puzzle it out on your own by watching the maw, observing the behavior of its tongues. He wrinkles his nose. A disgusting business altogether. Better to ask someone who's been here for a long time. They're barking mad, most of them, but they have an uncanny sense of the bloom's desires. Some of them claim to hear the voice of the bloom in their minds. Mm-hmm. Hearing the voice of the bloom. Ha! Flint whistles and waggles his finger at his head. That's when you know you're in trouble. Yeah. Dragogen told me the maws have been closing. Do you know anything about that? Yes, there they are, closing, disappearing, changing destinations, and behaving badly all around. Flint glances over at the guards, his smile faltering. That sort of thing is better to say in a low voice, preferably away from the mammover's lugs, or they might get the idea that you're blaming her for the problem. Dragogen, what does this young man have to do with that chiseler? And she is supposed to have some sort of influence over this giant sack of angry flesh, so who knows, maybe it is her fault. But I would never say such a thing, he smiles beatifically. Oh, blaming the Mamavera. I have some other questions. Here, let me read your entire conversation tree. Alright, I'd like to buy a slave. God. Flint's eyes light up. If his smile got any wider, it would tear itself off his face and go scampering away. So you're a registered merchant, are you? Got all the proper documents signed and stamped in all the right places? No. Sorry, I must have left them in my mansion. We don't need official documents to make a deal. No, but I'm sure you've heard my name. I have plenty of friends in Sega's Cliffs. Oh, God. Well, let's see. The question becomes... It's going to be one of these last two options. And if we go with the last option, we're going to be probably going to tell him someone else's name. Let me just go with number 3 here. Oh, that's the red tide. One of Flint's eyebrows rises absurdly high. Ridiculous, he exclaims. Of course I need official documentation. Do you take me for a scofflaw, sir? Of course he's not a licensed buyer. Red tide raised a tiny amount. Suddenly Flint lowers his voice and leans toward you. Sorry, do you have to keep up appearances? In truth, I would be happy to make a deal as long as the relevant authorities are none the wiser. As Mum used to say, with disappointment comes great opportunity. Go on. One of my slaves is not attracting any buyers. He's a young fellow, fresh from the streets of Sagus, but I fear he's only a thief, not a murderer or a sadist at all. You can imagine how that's going over with my clients. Since I cannot sell him in a legitimate manner, I am forced to go under the proverbial table. You may have him for a mere, 400 shins. No returns, refunds, or restitution. No returns, refunds, or restitution. Flint flashes a disturbingly wide and toothy grin. Can't imagine what Maul would even want the boy. I'll give you 250. That slave isn't a hardened criminal. Nobody is going to give you a better offer. Can I see the man first? Do you know how he ended up here? What about the other slaves? I don't have enough shins. No thanks. Can I see the man first? Certainly, he's just over there. Flint gestures toward one of the bedraggled slaves in the pit, a young man well-built with a surprisingly sober expression given his condition. We don't really have the slots to take on another companion, so I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen here, but game-wise. I don't want to try to pick him up right now anyway, but if we have a choice. Do you know how he ended up here? Flint produces a sheaf of papers from a voluminous pocket and shuffles through them. Finally settling upon one. His eyes scan the page. Let's see here. Third time arrested for thievery. Minimal resistance to arresting levy. Curious. Non-violent offenders aren't usually considered for Bloom slavery, but he volunteered anyway. Some of them do, you know, if they're running from something, or if they're barking mad. The little man shrugs, stuffing the papers back into his pocket. What about the other slaves? Not for sale, not under any circumstances, I'm afraid. The little man shakes his head sorrowfully, and with such a regretful expression you could almost believe he cares. I'm willing to bend the rules in the case of this one slave only. The Mamafra will feed me to him all if I start selling all the slaves to unregistered clients. And I mean that quite literally. Okay, no thanks, not for now. As you wish, but if you change your mind, my offer remains open, lying on the floor beneath the proverbial table where we are forced to do business. Okay. Now back to my clients. Yeah. That's gonna be an interesting question.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
Do we want to talk to her in right now? Do we
I
need to?
need someone to talk to. I need to talk to you.
Okay. Why can't you talk to all? Of course, Rin, what is it? Even though she said she needed to talk, she hesitates. It's about my memories. I feel like I should remember more by now, but I don't. I can't. You asked me before what my parents' names were, and I couldn't remember. I still can't. I can't remember why I left or how I got to Sagus Cliffs or anything that happened to me before that horrible slaver Tull captured me. She wraps her arms around herself. I should remember by now. I can remember everything from the time I got hurt. I remember meeting Otero in the junkyard. I remember making All. She looks up, deep lines etched in her brow that have no place on the face of a child. But I can't remember anything before that, nothing before the slavers at all, and I don't know why. My head is fine now, so why? Maybe those memories are gone forever, Rin. Maybe those memories were never real. Why do you think that is? How did you get hurt? I think how did you get hurt is probably the more pertinent question here. Oh, her cheeks become flushed. I was running away from someone. I don't know who. Tull and her slavers captured me. They hurt me, then stitched me up so Tull could use me. She shivers, her face twisting into an ugly mask of disgust. Oh, great. Okay. Obviously, we need to add on to content warnings here because this is not great. Lots of things happening here. Adult things are happening here. Hey, hello, Numenera streams. Hello. We're playing Torment, Tides of Numenera, which involves a lot of terribly gruesome things that people are talking about, not seeing but talking about. But it's an interesting setting. I escaped later, days later, I think. Otero found me in the junkyard, and then later I made my home in Sega's Cliffs. She frowns. But who was I running from before Toll found me? That's what I can't remember, and I don't know why. Why do you think that is? I don't want to say either of these other two things to her. I know. Yeah. She shakes her head. I don't know. The memories are there. I know it. Just like those thugs knew I was in that house on Cliff's Edge. I can feel the memories, hear them. But when I look for them, they aren't there. Do you mean they're hidden? How long have they been gone? When was the last time you remember remembering them? It sounds like amnesia to me. I know the feeling. It's like this. I knew I was in that house on the cliff's edge. I can feel the memories, hear them. When I look for them, they aren't there. I mean, they're hidden. Or how long have they been gone? When is the last time you remember remembering them? Maybe this might be... This is a very meta question to ask here. Yeah. But why not? She furrows her brow in thought. They were gone when I met Otero. They were gone when I made Al. They were gone when I hurt my... She touches her scar. No, they weren't. I knew my parents, remembered them in the cage. It was only afterward, when I ran from Tall, when I... She yanks Al from her pocket and folds him in front of her face. Al, did you know about this? She cocks her head the way she does when she listens to him. A worried expression blooms on her face. Suddenly she gasps. A tear drips from the corner of one eye. Are you all right, Ren? It was all, wasn't it? He hid your memories from you. Or wait. I think... I don't want to necessarily... I don't want to push her on this. And, like, are you alright is also kind of... I mean, we're definitely not going to say this, that he hid your memories from you. Are you alright, Ren, is something we could go with, potentially. Or we could wait. Yeah, I mean, 3 seems safe, yeah, as was we were saying too. That I think if we wait, then she'll process whatever is happening. But then again, if we don't ask her if she's alright, we might not actually find out what the thing is and be able to help her. I'm gonna wait. Hey, got more blue tide, that's good. She bites her lip hard, then, why? Why did you do this? She listens more. Happy lurking, by the way. She listens more. You hear something like a bird rustling in its egg, but you can't tell if it's from the stone or something else. Her head still cocked, Rin speaks to you, her voice strangely flat. He's been hiding parts of my memory from the beginning. He wanted me to blend in, to avoid undue attention. And he was worried. He thought if I knew the truth, I would have given up a long time ago, from the beginning. I will just say, as you seem to be about the Undertwitch, there may be a connection between the Undertwitch and the Undershadow. It's entirely possible. Tell me then, she says to the stone. Her face reddens, angrier than you've ever seen her. What have you been keeping from me? She listens for what seems a long time, her expression increasingly frightened as she does. Finally, she lets her hands fall and she tells you. I ran away. I was angry at them, my parents. Something stupid, something we'd fought over 100 times. But this time I left. I packed my things, took my coat, and when the moon was high, I just walked out. Oh, XP! I thought I was prepared. I thought I was safe, and they attacked me. Amar No, I shouldn't say their name. Soldiers, it doesn't matter. Amar? Okay. Her knuckles whiten around the stone. I ran. They ran faster. I made a god somehow, a god of going forth. I must have cut away into this world and fallen through it. I guess it saved my life, but then the slavers, my head, all. She scowls and shouts at the stone. You kept it from me! You walked into my mind and stole from me! I can never forgive you! Never! She pulls back and throws the stone as far away as she can manage. Then she collapses to her knees, her shoulders shuddering with each sob. So, the response is available here. Oh my god. No, this isn't heavy at all. All did what he thought was best for you, Rin. It's over, you remember now, and you're a part of this world. You should forgive him. I'm sorry he did that to you, Rin. It wasn't right. Yeah, so... Rules of things like this is not to tell the person how to feel. Or indeed what to do. But to sympathize in this way. Gold and red. She scowls, says the man who steals thoughts without trying. Well, fair. Unfortunately, I had both tides that I'm not interested in, Raise, but that's okay. She stays there on her knees for a long time, sobbing and then sniffling. Finally, she wipes her face on her sleeve. She stands up and walks over to where she threw all. She stares at the rock for a while, then bends down and puts it in her pocket. I need him, she says to no one in particular. She straightens her face a mask. Are we going or what? Interesting. Okay. That was a bit of a ride there. Why do I keep hitting the wrong thing? That's what I want. I want the map. Return the map. Okay, there's the auction. There's Skady, whatever that is. We'll find out what that is soon. Sleep location. Merchant. Point of interest. Party member. Use the map key, damn you! Scene transition. We don't have any of those yet. I'm wondering if I should talk to everyone else. To the other party members, because it might be a good idea to see if there's any new dialogue available. Conversations. Conversatio. Okay. So let's see, Eratis, Matkina. I think we talked to Eratis when we came back. I will talk to Matkina for a moment.
Not by a long shot. I don't remember if I told you this, but I was born here.
Oh yeah. She struggles to hide the fear that shivers through her frame. You can feel the tight control she maintains over her emotions, over her tides. She swallows hard. Woke up in the process of being devoured. I suppose the bloom saw our sire's mind leave. It dropped me, newborn, and I got out. Fled up to Sagus Cliffs, and that thrice-damned sorrow almost snatched me then. Her voice drops, almost indistinct. I left the city, stole and hurt people on the way out, but at least I got away. So, you know what happened with the Castoffs. With the first, damn her. And let's be sure to kill her when we find her. Anyway, the bloom. Interesting. The first may be our only way of dealing with the freaking changing god, but okay. After the trouble with Melmoth, I wound up here, in the service of the man who became the Mamavra, the old boss of this place. Listen to me. The bloom rewards cruelty and pain, and it will react to your actions, so be careful. We're not being sufficiently cruel and painful yet. Okay. The current Mamavra and I don't get along too well. Be aware there's a history, a bloody one. I can't promise I'll be civil around her. She adjusts her cloak. Alright, let's go. I want to talk about what happened in Mila Vest. I mean, that's the thing. Let's talk about her siblings. How are you holding up? I had some questions. How are you holding up? Surprisingly optimistic, but don't tell anyone. It'll spoil the mystique. You said you and the Mamavra had a history? She and I were... Wait, let me see if that word's available anywhere. Let me see if I can actually get to a... I have many windows that I should deal with. Okay. Chagan? Chagan? It's probably a very old word. Let's see. She and I were... interesting. Shagan's definition. Formerly a title borne by medieval Chinese emperors and Mongol and Turkic rulers, usually added to a name. Kublai Khan, for example, etc. Interesting. Okay, so it's sort of related to Khan. Kagan? Yeah, there's not really a, yeah. Kagan. Kagan? Okay, I'm going to say Kagan for now. And we'll go from there. Yes. And like I said earlier, the pronunciations are all made up in any case, but I'm going to, I'm just looking for what doesn't sound silly. That's really usually my... What doesn't sound silly to me is usually the way I say things. I just figure this out day by day. She and I were Kagans for the old Mamavra, ran different games, different turts. But it was always a competition with her. See who could make more shins, who could keep the peace better, who could embarrass the other. I always got the sense she had a secret, something she was keeping from all the rest of us. But I never had any proof. Or Kagan's. Not until the day she took power. She shrugs. She was quick, I'll give her that. Not a moment wasted. I thought she'd let the rest of us run. She didn't. Ah. When she sent bounty hunters after me, I knew the game had changed. Used to be the Kagans would get a choice. Swear fealty or leave, because, you know, blood is bad for business. Better to keep all our knowledge alive, right? I'd have sworn because I admired her efficiency, but she didn't give me the choice. Nor any of them. Interesting. So yeah, as soon as you seize power, you get rid of the old regime, no matter who they were. I want to talk about what happened in Mila Vest. Mila Vest is gone, dead. Is that what you wanted to hear? And too many of our siblings with it. She faces you, her arms akimbo. And now, I'm thinking about how much I hated them, and how much I wanted their approval. Is that what I wanted this whole time? Yes, yes it is. They're dead now, you don't need to worry about their approval anymore. They keep helping me and we'll avenge them. Must be hard to be a younger child. These are all... These responses, man. Yeah, let's not try to steer this as yeah. Must be hard being a younger child, I think, would kind of... Yeah, I think for now I'm actually going to go with number 1, because I understand the whole empathetic thing, but it's... that's kind of drawing an early conclusion here. Let's say you don't need to worry about their approval anymore. She shakes her head. Of course I don't, but you know, would have been nice to get some validation from the people who seemed to know what they were doing. Not that I really have any idea what I'm doing yet, though. She sighs. Forget it. Getting maudlin. Let's keep going. Righto. Are you holding up now? No. Okay. Let's move on. Let's. Alright, I must bid you adieu. Okay, take care, Aquatic Creep. Good to see you. Yeah, sometimes, apparently, if you have offspring, they need to eat every now and then. Strange practice, but apparently. People like eat daily or something. I don't know. The wagon is laden with basic supplies from outside the bloom. Supplies!
I'm there, in the shadows.
Yes, thank. If you tell us you're there in the shadows, doesn't that defeat the purpose? An Anine! Okay, this is a beast of burden. Apparently we can talk to the Anine. Skady. Okay, we heard that name before. We can interact with this very dangerous looking pool. We can talk to this bloom cultist. Waits for prey. That's a, one of those chitin-covered people, I think, that we encountered. One of those burrowing people that we ran into further up. There's one of these, which looks fascinating. There's a cultist. Explorers. There's a thing. It's a little green thing. What is this little green thing? It's glowing. I don't know. And there's a person there we can interact with once we uncover more of them. This over here. More a Mamavra thug and a named Mamavra thug. This door. I cannot see anything about it because I'm not high up enough. That's a bloom dweller. That's another bloom dweller. That's another green thing that's smoking. Are they lights? They could be lights. Okay. Because otherwise I don't know where the light's coming from. I mean, up there, that's about it. Why isn't everything more green? Never mind. Never mind. Oh, great devourer, I offer you my flesh. Okay, look. Look, pal. Actually, let me go ahead and talk to Eratus real quick, just in case there's anything else I need to talk to him about.
Strange. This place. It's like being inside my mouth. Well, it's inside another mouth.
Oh yeah. This place has promised many opportunities for excitement and sacrifice. What's strange about the inside of your mouth? You're not afraid, are you? I mean, we're just going to go on a tangent here. All mouths are strange. Fleshy pits flapping and squishing behind exposed bones? He pauses mid-shudder, thinking, although my mouth doesn't have anyone walking around in it. In comparison to this place, anything's normal. He beams. Thank you. My mouth no longer makes me nervous. Oh, God. I have some questions about you. I'm not surprised. I'm incredibly interesting. What do you want to know? Do you remember talking with me inside my head? I don't know if we've had this conversation before. Hello. Something about Planescape Torment. Ah, yes. Yes, this is the spiritual successor to Planescape Torment. Let's see. Eratus blinks at you several times. That is the strangest question I've been asked by someone else in the last 2 minutes. He stares at the air. No, I think I'd remember being in your head. It seems like you'd have a nice one. You sure don't remember talking with me inside my head? No, I don't. I wish I did, though. It's funny, right? Because the, items. Because... Nope, I just lost the end of whatever that sentence was. I will tell friend. Yeah, this is Torment Tides of Numenera. So it's made by the same people who made Torment, Planescape Torment. But this uses it's another collaboration also with Muddy Goat, but it's about his newer setting, Numenera. You seem to be under the impression this journey of ours is all about you. You say that like it's not, Eratus says, peering at you suspiciously. Are you serious? It isn't. Just kidding. Are you serious? Always, Eratus says, shocked. I am on a quest to find quests. I thought you knew that. He bites his lip furiously. I'm still looking for the right quest, but I'll know when I see it. I'll know it when I see it. It's the one that will lead me to the destiny that I think I'd see in my dreams if I ever managed to sleep again. I can sympathize. Rubbing his eyes with his hands, he says, "It's just so exhausting. I want the treasure and the glory and the heroic stuff, but when I have it, it's never enough. I'm always looking for the next quest." He cradles his head. It's just never enough. Maybe you should be helping people rather than looking for treasure and glory. Maybe you haven't found the right treasure yet. And we have snaps. I know, wouldn't that be great? Let's see, maybe you should be helping people. Or maybe you haven't found the right treasure yet. Nah, this would play too much into it. This might help a little bit because it will slowly bring him out of it, maybe? I don't know. Indigo tide went up, that's good. I like that, Eratus says quietly, tiny currents rippling through him. I like that more than I can say. Let's talk about something else. Is there anything else we need to worry about? Okay, nothing for now. Let's continue on. Yes, we've been standing here still for too long. Okay. Now I shall save again. It's interesting because these conversations do affect things. You can't go back to parts of some of them and they change bits of the plot. There are things actually I kind of am wanting to go back and do differently with a couple of them, but I'm not going to. We're just going to keep going. Come on. Keyboard's having some issues. We're going to look around now.
If you want a job done right.
Let's have a nice chat with this cultist. Surely it will be fine. Give yourself to the bloom. Give yourself to its maws and achieve enlightenment. That's good to know. The world below the bloom is false. The world above is corrupt. The worlds it touches are illusion. Only the bloom is. Give yourself to the bloom. Yes. We'll think about that. Here, let's randomly touch this dangerous-looking piece of machinery. A metal pylon, so polished it might be crystal, has been thrust into the bloom flesh at the junction of two armored neural axons. Okay. Whether the bulbous protrusion around it is an effect of this invasion, or whether it was the reason for the insertion in the first place, is impossible to judge. Like so much of the bloom, it oozes both mystery and mucus. Oh my god. It oozes both mystery and mucus. Yeah, great. Yeah. Let's examine the pylon. Lore machinery. The pylon appears to be the foundation of a dimensional anchor. Ah. But just the foundation. To be sure, it is in some ways the most difficult part to construct. but it is worthless without a variety of additional properly attuned Numenera. Okay. To finish the project would be a considerable undertaking, far more than you could hope to attempt. You notice there's a deep sulcus in the bloom flesh where it meets the pylon. The tulk filling the crevice makes it impossible to tell what, if anything, is inside. More new words, sulcus and tulk. They're going full Gene Wolfe on us now. Reach into the sulcus. Let's study the rest of it before we go bothering sulcuses. I'm not looking those up because I don't actually want to know what they mean right now, because I feel as though that would study. Not as it relates to this. I don't want to think about that right now. But we're going to study the nodule anyway. Natural lore. Judging from the ancillary organs that protrude from the nodule, it seems to be the organic equivalent of a regional control center. Not a true brain, but something more than a mere cluster of nerves. It's unclear whether it is a part of some larger mind or a near-sentient organism of its own. Now, we're going to leave it alone. We're going to save the game again. And then we're going to reach into the sulcus. Do I feel as though I have to look? Do I feel as though I have to look to find out? Do I need to look inside the dictionary?
Sulcus.
Oh my god! No, it's fine. It's a furrow or a groove. That's all. It's a groove or a fissure, especially a fissure between two convolutions of the brain in anatomy. Okay. That's cool. What would Gideon... Oh god, no, let's not bring Gideon into this at all. We want to do what... The only reason to consider what Gideon would do is to do the opposite. Gideon, by the way, for those of you wondering, I'm talking to someone in chat, for those of you looking at this later, and Gideon is a character I play in another game who is... well, actually, I don't really play him. He's an NPC, but then I'm playing him also because things. Who knows? Anyway, hi. Greetings, graham crackers. Hello, welcome. Yes. Is it sulcus time? That's the question. All right. Oh yes, right. Also, a tulk. There are no results for that in dictionary.com. Which means it's a little older. Variant of Tolk. A man, a soldier. No, this is probably not that. Okay. Interesting, though. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Wait. No. Right. Bring up the other thing. There we go. Then back here. Return to game. Yay! The bid, it's over 9,000. Now. No. Wait. We've got a sulcus to check out. We're reaching into the sulcus, everyone. You're forearm deep in warm, mucousy talc. These are not soldiers. When your fingers brush against something with a hard edge, obviously not part of the bloom flesh, but also distinct from the pylon. Unfortunately, your touch has dislodged it, and it begins sinking deeper into the crevice. Try and grab it! We already used up what she had before. Let's use all her speed to get whatever this is. Yay! You plunge in deeper and catch hold of the metal object. With relief, you pull your arm and the recovered cipher out from the mucousy sulcus. Sunspot icon. Reach into the sulcus again! Dear God. So this is a cipher that opens a channel to the nearest celestial body. It fires a blast that deals 28 energy damage. And why did I say it that? Energy damage? Energy damage? Why did I say it that way? I'm reading for the BBC, where we put the emphasis on the last word. And confers blinded active 2 rounds to the nearest enemy on each turn it is active. Minus 50% movement speed, minus 35% evasion. Attacks, damage, consumes your action. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, we gotta get more of that Sulcus action. Deja vu washes over you as you slide your arm back into the device. Oh, hey! Anamnesis. There's an old man rambling about on a thought experiment. It involves some kind of prehistoric rodent capable of telepathically linking its mind with others of its kind, perhaps a forebear of the Ceterdin. The old man posits that if enough of these rodents are gathered together, the sheer power of their conjoined desire would be enough to change reality. And for what world would these scavengers wish, he asks rhetorically. One where everything, even the very dirt, is man's detritus, eh? So that's interesting. That's very interesting because it's, once again, prehistoric from the perspective of inhabitants of the Ninth World. It's interesting because something happened to Earth, right? And it has been suggested, or at least I think said outright, that every molecule of the planet has been affected in the intervening time between our present day and the Ninth World. It's like, what was it, 4 billion years away? I think that's right, about 4 billion years in the future. So maybe this happened at one point. So it's just an interesting thought. It seems that he intends to manipulate the bloom's transdimensional nature to test his Murine Dreamtime hypothesis. Interesting. Okay. So he's trying to replicate the activities of those creatures, right? The brain activity of those creatures. Sort of. Such meddling, of course, cannot be tolerated, so as he natters on, you slip the sunspot totem into the sulcus. It seems implausible that the Cadre will ever complete his dimensional anchor, but now at least you can be sure that it will not interfere with your own plans in the bloom. Good God. These are the memories of the changing god. Probably. The memory fades. You pull your hand out of the mucus. Yeah, it's where actually I'm not completely clear if some of these memories. I mean, like when we were in, well, just a couple of episodes ago when we were, running around inside the labyrinth of the Last Castoff's mind, there were memories we were getting, which I think were most definitely those of the changing god. This presumably is as well. It feels like it. But it also could have been I'm remembering now something about getting these flashes as though from other cast-offs, possibly. It's hard to say. But also, well, I guess it would also be other cast-offs while the Changing God is in there, so it's also the Changing God. So many memories! What is a memory? I don't know, I've forgotten. Shall we get more Sulcus time in? No, okay. You accomplished nothing beyond covering your hand. Okay, we're going to leave the pylon alone now. We now exist in a post-Sulcus world. I think I've said... Whoa! Okay. That's interesting. Did you see that? Did you see what happened there? Where is that light coming from? It's coming from the machine. Okay. Thing opened up. Probably because we've just unblocked whatever it is that the Changing God blocked years ago when that pylon was being built. The massive vehicle appeared to have crashed through a nearby wall. Bloomflesh is resealed. The hole is beginning to grow across the vehicle's surface. Recognize the vehicle's eating it. No, no, there's a thing change. Must construct additional pylons. Yeah. That this light was not there before. Do you see? There's a thing opened in this Katina. There is a thing different about it now. I am most curious. But it is not giving us anything different when we click on it. I swear that wasn't there a moment ago. That light. I'm not losing my mind, am I? That light wasn't there before, was it? It's aiming at that one. Ooh, okay. Could be a shield. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Something happened. Maybe it's what these things are all... These green things that I was so focused on earlier have a connection to it. This is fascinating, but anyway. That's enough lingering about.
Action! Here I come!
By the way, for anyone just joining us, there's a lot of dialogue in this game. A lot of dialogue. There's a lot of reading. Abacha no Shidisue? No. Is group of explorers go to New World. Ah, damn it. Trinkets, artifacts, answers. We find stories of place and existence. Oh, okay. Outside Bloom is City of Sagus. Inside Bloom is Universe. Small, big. Outside is inside. Okay. Exploring through the Bloom's Mars is getting hard, stranger. The old ways are closing and new ones opening. Some might say the Bloom can reach their time, but they must say so. Or, who knows? You can find just about anything from here. You look hard enough. Some might say the Bloom can reach their time, and they must say so. Worship it as a god too. Okay. Plenty dangerous in the strange ways of the Bloom now. No saying what comes through the new moles. Okay. And you, tired of spinning around without result here. Need some moles to open. Place this size, you think there'd be some place to go. Isn't that side much? Danger great, worlds open, find intelligence is word? Yeah. Room seems angry, no telling where its tendrils will lash themselves now. You live here. You, this is me, my place, scrounge your own hole. Okay. okay, that's fine. It's a bunch of stuff. Okay. Let me actually, yeah, before we... No! See if we can get any more mapping going on. Skady, we should eventually go over here and see what we can buy. Counterclockwise? Yeah, let's go counterclockwise.
Consider it done.
Let's see. The wagon is laden with basic supplies from outside the Bloom. A little chat with an Anine. A large and agitated beast looms over you. It is an Anine, a beast of burden. These creatures are normally docile, but this one bares its teeth and snaps at you as you draw near. It rakes the air with its stubby claws. Examine the Anine. Staying just out of biting range, you can see blood around the Anine's mouth. It looks like it has been bleeding or possibly feeding on something. Okay, we're gonna leave that Anine alone. Are they not herbivores? I can't remember. Weird. Okay. Hey, you. Skady. A pale, heavyset merchant woman stands by an agitated Anine. Her eyes seem to have trouble focusing on you, and when they do, she drops them, her hands nervously adjusting the scarf around her neck. Need help, can't think, I must... Oh, okay. I'm Skady, you here to trade? Why are you wearing that heavy scarf? Let me see what you have for sale. What can you tell me about the bloom? There may be something wrong with your Anine. It has blood around its mouth. Let's open with that. She pulls her scarf up. I don't need strangers telling me how to take care of my beast, thank you. Do you want to buy something or not? Leave her alone. It's not the beast's fault. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about the bloom at all? The bloom? For a moment she appears confused, as if she doesn't remember where she is. No. What's to tell? Are you sure you have nothing to tell me about the bloom? She pauses, brow furrowing. I think so. Why are you wearing that heavy scarf? Her eyes meet yours, and for a moment you almost think there's a pleading quality to them. Then they blaze with fury. That's none of your business. Leave it be or just leave. Scarf? I forgot. I put it on to hide... Nothing. It hides nothing. Someone is, Someone's influencing this person. But I will find out what they have for sale first. Before I try to do something. Yeah, this may be a case of selling stuff back to this person. If I want to accumulate monies, that's been one way to get monies. There's a medium weapon there that does 5 physical damage. Runs on speed. I'm using a weapon that runs on intellect, so that's not going to help me right now. But, that said, let's actually compare this way. Versus a sonic blade, which is it's light versus medium. Not sure if Matkina can use medium weapons or not. But she gets a bonus on some things, so I don't know. So the Slug Spitter is a ranged weapon, one would think. At long range. And what else do we have? Needler. Needlers are fun. Currently have Whispers, which is a purple artifact. But mine's a melee weapon. We have a maul. Those are nice. We have a heavy crossbow. We have crossbow. We have a buzzer. I think I already have one of those somewhere. Sting charge. Battle axe. We have a shield. A shield. Does everyone have a shield right now? Eratus does not, but I think it's because he's got an axe that requires 2 hands. It's a heavy weapon. $14 versus 8, but there's also 8 and 7, so it's, yeah. 8 physical, 7 chemical, so he actually does more damage with this. It feels like the stuff we have is better than what they have here, but we'll see. Panacea! Heals 30 points of health. We'll want to buy that eventually, if we can. I feel like, I need to go around doing stuff and getting money, and then we'll have more stuff, or selling stuff. Still Mirror heals 20 points of health. Removes all negative fetals. Good. Clockwork Strut. Bonded item. +1 to quick fingers. -2 armor. -1 training level and endurance. Talisman of the Gentle Hierophant. Max effort +1 on all non-combat tasks. Ooh. Cool. Very nice, very nice. Now let's actually find out what's happening here. Here's the thing. The person with the ability to pull aside the scarf has used up all of their speed. So I'm going to save the game again before we try this. Because I feel that would be a good idea. Twould be helpful. Twould be. Alright. Retain. Okay. Hush, girl. Try to pull aside her scarf. So, Rin can't do it right now. So you are our next best bet, I think, probably. Yeah. Makina's our next best bet. 75%. Once again, 75% ain't bad, but we'll see. Got it. Oh, crap. Yeah. Let's see. Success. Tugging at the merchant's scarf reveals jagged, still bleeding teeth marks across her neck. She yelps in surprise and leaps away from you, hastily pulling her scarf back up. How dare you put your hands on me? Get away. Please, just leave us alone. Aw. Skady glances at her Anine, eyes wide, like a child with a guilty conscience. You recall the Anine's bloody mouth and the odd behavior, and it occurs to you that its teeth match the size and pattern of the bite marks on her neck. Natural lore, but Anine are herbivores, and as far as you know, they can't digest meat or blood. That's what I thought! She wrenches her eyes away from her Anine, closes them tightly, and begins to shake her head rapidly back and forth, muttering incoherently. Her whispers sound more like buzzing and hissing than words. Oh god, persuasion. I really need to, I should have taken the thing that makes you ultra persuasive, unless I did that already. I think I did that already. I can, already used it up, I think. I can help, just tell me what's happening to you. I don't have anyone uber persuasive on my team, I don't think. 65% is what I can get. What can Rin get? 45. What can Makina get? 30. Eritus. 5. Yeah, okay. I will give it a try. Got it. Cool. Excellent. Success! My Anine, it feeds on me, suckles the blood from my neck. For some reason I can't... No, I don't want to make it stop. She shakes her head, trying to clear it. But that's a lie, I do want it to stop. Vampire Anine! That's something I didn't think we'd see. Okay. Her voice quivers in terror. I think the bloom did this. To my Anine and to me. Tied us together somehow. It's on our heads. I can hear it whispering to me. Good God. So we can use persuasion to tell them, fight the bloom, Skady. Concentrate on the whispers and drown them out. Push them from your mind. We can use intimidation, deception. You can't resist the bloom, Skady. It's already taken root in your mind. Just give in. I can see that backfiring. Or I'll find some other way to help you. We'll try this. Oh, God. This is why we need to find Tiber, because he could persuade the hell out of this person. Should have gone and found Tiber first, before trying this. Okay. Well, it's either persuasion or intimidation, and I don't think I'm good. I'm worse at intimidation and deception than persuasion, I think. Here we go. Yeah, it's 65 again. Alright. Yeah! Oh, good. Critical success. Oh, great. Stat pool spent on effort restored. Yay! You can see the woman struggle. Her whole body shakes. You faintly hear a whispering cacophony of sound, chittering and buzzing, lashing out in rage as it fights back. Then it falls silent. The merchant's eyes soften and focus. She shakes her head as if clearing it. I did it. The voices are gone. The Anine also shakes its head, snorts, and settles back on its haunches. Interesting. Interesting. We got XP. The merchant turns to you with clearer eyes. Thank you. I don't know what was wrong with me. The bloom got in my head and changed my Anine, too. But I think she's back to her old self now. She hesitates, then nods. You come back anytime you like. I'll give you a discount. It's the least I can do. Yes! Discount! That's the important thing. Continue. Okay. Great. Alright. Cool. Is the Anine easier to talk to now? Maybe. I'm gonna save the game again. That was very lucky. I mean, I know I was, trying to optimize on it, but at the same time, still 3 in a row with only, getting up to, 65%. That's not bad at all. Anine. An entire Anine. No. An entire Een. That's what we're saying here. Can we pet your Anine now? The now docile Anine sits on its haunches, staring placidly into the distance. Cool. Okay. Let's see where the prices are now. I think. Wait, no, there's more information! More dialogue! You cannot escape the dialogue. There's so much. Can you tell me about the bloom now? I travel through here a lot, but maybe not after this. Too dangerous, no matter what the Mimavra's guards say about her keeping it safe. She shrugs. Good chance for profit, though. Bloom folk need outside goods, and you can find unique things here. Things from other places. Still, once bitten, twice shy, if you know what I mean. I'm gone as soon as I sell the last of my stock. What do you know about the Mimavra? She nods her head at the imposing gates across the courtyard. They say she runs this place from that fortress over there. I've never seen her, though, just her thugs. It's almost like she doesn't dare come out. Let's see. Can you tell me anything else about the Mimavra? No, and even if I even if I knew something, it's not safe to say. Alright, how did the bloom get into your head? I don't know. The bloom does strange things to you if you stay here long enough. My Anine and I drank water from that well. That might have something to do with it, or maybe not, but I'm not letting her drink it again, that's for sure. Yeah, let's... and to think, I was considering interacting with it earlier. Pure as the cliffs, he said. Damn that Gristler. Ah, Gristler. You bastard! How is your Anine now? Shaken, but better. And now that I know this can happen, I won't risk it happening again. We're getting out of the bloom as soon as I sell my stock, and we're not coming back. Okay, alright. Now let's find out what prices you have. Ooh. Head. I shall need to dive off soon, but we will go a little bit further. See what the price... Oh, that's... These are looking much more affordable now. Oh, yes, that's okay, 488. That's better than it was. 692, good God. Did the price on that go up? Or I just never looked at it properly. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than it was. Which is nice. That's good. Okay. Let's touch the pool. No, let's not touch the pool. But we're curious.
I'm going.
Yeah, drink the fluid. Collect some of the fluid. That's really more where we should... I think we should maybe collect some of it. The pool is filled with yellowish water that falls from above. The surrounding bloom flesh is wet with hand and footprints, suggesting that this is a common place for bloom dwellers to wash and drink. Look into the pool. Dive into the pool and try to retrieve the wriggling object. Oh, God. The pool extends downward like the circular shaft of a well. If it has a bottom, you can't see it from here. In the depths of the pool, you think you can see something wriggling about. No. Dear God, no. Look at the pool again. But it could happen. We could send Eratus down there. His brain's pretty clean anyway. This is not a good idea. We can collect some of the fluid, though. Item game, Flask of Bloom, water. There it is. Confers bloom juiced. Eerie whispers fill your mind, hinting at countless secrets to uncover. Active until next sleep. Oh, great. We'll think about that. Not going to drink the fluid. We know not to do that now. We're going to leave the well alone. Although, if it's actually about secrets, there's some interesting thoughts there. Some interesting ideas. You're considering doing it, aren't you? Yes, of course I am. Of course I am. Have you heard the word of our Good Lord Siege? I'm not familiar with that one. I'm gonna save the game before doing the stupid things. Then we'll do the stupid things. Because of course we will. Let's have some fluid. We gained XP. You take a sip of the yellowish water. It has a greasy texture and a slightly sour taste, but it quenches your thirst. You take another sip, and you start to hear whispers. They're faint at first, but they grow louder, resolving into the chittering voices of the bloom. They buzz in your ears, scratching at the inside of your skull. You stumble, struggling to keep your balance. Even as your senses dull, the bloom's voices seem clearer than before. The Last Castoff gains bloom-juiced fettle until the next time the party sleeps, but I got 2 XP out of it. In the vicinity of the well, the voices are distant fate, and the whispers that were here before, manipulating Skadia and her Anine, have fled. So, that's awesome. We're going to load the game again before we do that. Before we go off with that, we can get that 2 XP anytime we want. We're not going to run around like that. Instead, XP is gained mostly from solving quests, but can also be gained by making discoveries. But choices! No. Choices have no meaning! This is no time at all. Choices have no meaning if you have the save feature. Do they? Like I said, we save the game, then try the stupid stuff. Like diving into the pool to retrieve a wriggling object. So we start at 0 and can get up to 65 here. If we kick Rin into the pool, then she can not do well at all. If we kick Matkina into the pool, then she won't do well at all. But Eratus, on the other hand, 25%. This is not a good idea, but it's the best chance that there is available. This is a terrible idea. I should have given him more effort. I can get up to 65 if I spend everything, though. I feel as though this is not a good thing to do now, but let's see what happens. Oh, success. You plunge into the murky fluid. As you dive deeper, you see that the shaft opens into a much larger cavity. At the edge of the larger space, you reach the wriggling shape you saw from above and struggle to untangle it from a bony knot of bloom flesh. Finally, it slips free, and you swim to the surface, reaching the top just before you run out of air. Plan ahead. Wait. Planning ahead, that would require the ability to concentrate and think. I don't have that. Gained XP. We have a warding worm now. In the light of the courtyard, you see that the wriggling object is some sort of bloated worm, its skin continually shifting from one material to another. Silvery metal to pliable synth to leathery scales to other materials that you can't identify. It seems to be drawn to your exposed flesh and would likely fasten itself to your arm or leg if you allowed it to do so. How cute! How very... How very affectionate of it. Warding worm. Target self. It's a cipher. Am I loaded down with ciphers yet? Do I need to pass a cipher off to someone? Active for an entire crisis. It confers protected, +6 armor, +3 resistance. The skin of this bloated worm is continually shifting from one material to another. Silvery metal to pliable synth to leathery scales to other materials you can't identify. It seems to be drawn to your exposed flesh and will fasten itself to your arm or leg if you allow it to do so. This would cause your skin to take on the same shifting properties as the worm, which would provide you some additional protection. However, symbiotes like this creature rarely live for long, so the effect will be short-lived. Rulebook? What? Something rulebook, basket, thing. I can't hover over those to see what they mean, so I'm not sure. Because I'm in the middle of a dialogue tree. Wait, no, now I can. Panic basket, wraith, nope. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's look into the pool again, because why not? The pool extends downward into like the circular shaft of a well. You don't see anything else of interest in the depths. Okay, we're gonna leave the well alone now. Interesting. Okay, it's been 2 hours. I think I'm just going to take a little run around. I don't think I'm going to interact with anything else right this second, but I'm going to run around a little bit just to see where things are. I want to talk to Waits for Prey sometime soon, because we've talked to his people before. Their people. Don't know.
We can help. Right
I
on?
want to map things out just a wee bit. Move along. That lets us leave. Okay. Bloom Dwellers. Several crude shanties are wedged into a corner, fashioned from scraps of wood, cloth, and metal. Whoever built them was apparently not concerned with safety.
Let's go.
Over this way, we have basically the gate. The metal gate's firmly shut there, blemished with age, but still strong. We have the guard and the named guard. The guard with a name, the named guard. Wander over here. Is that a cliff edge, or is that just a thing going upwards? It's probably just a thing going upwards. And around here and back to where we started. Okay.
I think that's best.
So that has positioned us at these places. I'm going to go position them back over here. Alright. Now let's look at the map. The Mavericks Fortress. Dracogen. This goes to Vast Interior. There'll be more places to look next time. We have Skady. Okay. Okay. So I think... okay, let's see. It's about 6:20, a little after 6:20 where I am currently. Do I have it in me to finish the dialogue trees in here? Well, seems to me we probably have about 2 more dialogue trees to consult here. In this area. I just saved it, didn't I? I can't remember. But we'll find out in just a moment when this thing... Pool. No, we did not. Okay. I need to get going very shortly, but I'm going to go ahead and have a chat with Waits for Prey. We'll see what this is like. A metal construct stands before... Oh! Okay. A metal construct stands before you, silent and still. Its armor is pitted and ancient, spiked with metal thorns. Instead of arms, the construct has long killing blades, sharpened to a gleaming edge. What are you doing? Matkina whispers. I wouldn't talk to this monster. I've seen it kill some powerful people. And some powerful not people, too. I don't like the way it looks at me, either. You sense a mind inside the machine. It is a mind so alien that, although you can hear it, you cannot understand its thoughts. Who are you? What are you doing here? What are these bones and armor on the ground? Farewell. Oh, is it Cuisinart time? I feel as though it might be Cuisinart time in a moment if I speak to it. We'll see. Who are you? The construct stirs and a voice emanates from somewhere in its depths. It has a hollow, empty sound as if it speaks from a vast cavern underground. I am a soldier, a predator. My names are as numerous as the wars in which I have fought. But those wars are finished now, and I have left my names behind. Surely you remember some of your names. Some, I remember all my names. Exanarch, Series 14, Genshero Mark 10. When I was bodyguard to Vostule Lo, he called me his barber of flesh and made of me a bogeyman, feared and hated in every nation he conquered. The construct says nothing after that, but the hisses and whirs inside its armor make a great deal of noise for what seems a long time. Tell me some of your names again. Who created you? I do not know, nor have I ever known. They culled all records of themselves from our minds. I only remember those for whom I fought, and there have been many such masters over many long millennia of service. I don't think he's Groot, but it's a good question, as the person is wondering now. For a time, I believe my siblings and I slept. I do not know for how long. Then we were awakened by new masters, the Tabat. Ah, the Tabat. We fought for them until they were no more. You fought for the Tabat? What do you remember about them? Much. They ruled this land as warlords before the building of Sagus Cliffs. They were slaves to an edifice known as the Underspine. Yet they were its masters as well. I do not know where they came from or who they were before they rose to power, for those things happened before they awakened me. I remember this too. They held single combat as the highest virtue, revealing the quality of one's soul. They believed that we had powerful souls, my siblings and I, for none of them could defeat us alone. They fought on two-legged beasts, brandishing weapons of another age, unearthed from great hoards beneath the ground. That is also where they found me and my siblings. They awakened us, spoke the proper words, so we killed on their command. Ah. Interesting. What happened to the Tabat? The construct's blade arms twitch convulsively. A vast explosion buried the Underspine and their city and most of my siblings as well. The remaining Tabat were hunted and slain by those they had ruled and enslaved, and I was left alone, save for a few of my kind. Wonder if you will remember something about this, if you hit the right thing in your head here. Anamnesis, or whatever. Want to tell me some of your names again? Yeah. The same ones. Okay. I have some other questions. Ask them, I will answer if I can. What are you doing here? Waiting. The word is hollow and cold. For those who are strong and feared, for the predators who walk the bloom, they come here at times to challenge me. If I prove myself to be a predator above all others, I believe that the bloom tongues will catch my scent. The clicks and hisses from inside the construct's armor suddenly go quiet. I wish to be devoured by the bloom. Okay. There's a cultist over here that I think you should have a conversation with. You'd get along. Have you not seen those who have passed through the gullet of the bloom? Every trace of who they were has been stripped from them. They are freed from the trappings of memory and self, reborn. Okay. Yeah, there was that that little argument you had, I think, with the bloom upon entering. So that's in your head. So that tracks, I think. Interesting. Killing powerful predators makes you more appetizing to the bloom? So I believe. The construct is silent for a moment, as if considering. I have observed the patterns of its hunger over many feeding cycles. Always it is those who prey on others who draw the attention of the bloom tongues. Okay. The greater the predator, the more powerful their victim, the more the bloom desires them. The construct's voice becomes less hollow, higher pitched, and more grating. And I have killed many, so many. Yeah. I have torn men and beasts asunder, left their bones and entrails to putrefy as an offering to the bloom tongues, and still it will not devour me. Why does it wait? I cannot know. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't like metal. Why do you crave rebirth? How many years have you lived? Only a few, judging by the firmness of your flesh. Well, about that. So, depends on which part of my consciousness you're talking about. In that time, what horrors have you witnessed or perpetrated? Do they slip into your mind in unguarded moments? Perhaps they do. Whatever horrors you have seen, multiply them by 1,000, 100,000, across a vast, grinding millennium of wars. Now imagine that you cannot forget, cannot even distract yourself with other memories. Do you know what I remember? Only those things that would make me a better killer. Every severed limb, every gout of heart's blood, every cruel execution before a cheering crowd. All else is lost, for that is how my creators fashioned my brain. That's not good. That is why I crave rebirth and forgetfulness. Yeah. You claim to be troubled by the violent things you've seen and done, but you're a killing machine. Why should those things bother you? Oh my god. A long moment passes before the construct speaks. I have pondered that question for all the years since I awoke in your world, and also during the long eons of my sleep. For centuries I felt no such revulsion at the memories of my past. But over time the horror grew in my mind and in the minds of all my brethren. The construct pauses again, as if considering its next words. Oh, I got XP. I have come to believe that our creators intended this. Perhaps they understood the terrors we could visit upon the world, and this was their way of ensuring that we would not endure forever. If our foes did not destroy us, then we would be driven to destroy ourselves. I haven't met anyone. Tell me again. Same thing, escaped the horrors I witnessed and wrought to become something more than my creators made me. I haven't met anyone who's been eaten by the bloom and lived, that I know of. Walk the innards of this city monster for long enough, and you will meet them. A series of lights flash in quick succession on one side of the construct's pale face. Even now I can taste the transdimensional footfalls of one such man. You may find him in the vast interior space beyond the arterial opening there. The construct gestures with one bladed arm to its right. Once he possessed a name that was well known in this place before it was stolen by another. Now he walks alone, forgotten, and without fear. Interesting, okay. That may be the person we need to talk to about possibly learning more about the tides. We'll see. I have some other questions. Here, let's stand here and fill out this 2021. I mean, you know, hard to say, really. Could be an embodiment of 2021. We're not sure. What are all these bones and armor on the ground? detritus of beasts and men. It is all that remains of those who sought to best me. Oh, now we have the option to I want to challenge you to combat. I want you to kill me! Oh, great. Is this the only way that you can get back into your brain? Well, let's not worry about that yet. What do you know about Dracogen? He is a predator of sorts, but subtler than most. I have observed him as one hunter watches another from afar, but I cannot fathom what he truly wants. What he seems is not all that he is. Do you mean that Dracogen isn't all that he seems? Why don't you challenge Dracogen to combat? Okay, yeah, sure. No. The hollow voice is sharper and somehow more dangerous. The words I spoke were exactly what I meant. It's not that Dracogen isn't all that he seems. It's that what he seems is not all that he is. Yeah. Why don't you challenge Dracogen to combat? The construct's head turns in Dracogen's direction, even though the gray-skinned man is not actually visible from here, obscured as he is by the crashed Katina. You sense that the construct's eyes can see him plainly. For a long moment you hear a series of whirring and humming sounds from inside the construct's head, as if the creature is considering your words, then at long last it turns its head back to you. No, even I would not dare. The words are firm with a note of finality. Okay, I think the other questions are, yeah, I don't want to do either of these things right now. Maybe later. Farewell. A series of lights flash beneath the construct's faceplate, but it makes no audible reply. Okay.
Done.
Let's just wander about real quick.
One moment, and it's done.
Don't touch me, just leave me be, leave me alone. Okay, Bloom Dweller isn't having any of it. That's fine. How about this Bloom Dweller? You, this is me, my place. Okay, yes, that's right.
The very soul of action.
What about you? My family needs me, but the guards won't let me through the gate. I need to get home. Oh, that sucks.
Alright, here I go.
Okay, I'm going to save again, because I do want to just talk to that... I'm going to talk to the guards, but first I will save the game, because of course I will. That is how we do these things. Just checking some things over yonder in a moment, just because it's probably not a terrible idea to do so. There are a couple of things I want to look into. All right, back to this. Okay. Guards! Okay, we'll talk to this thug first. These gates are shut for a reason. No visitors allowed. And now, Breska, the named guard. This woman's face is lined with worry, though her thick build suggests that she could snap a spear in two without much effort. She continually glances toward the tunnel leading out of the courtyard as though she hopes to see somebody. She runs a hand through her short graying hair and mutters, Gods. Gods. That's two missing. Where the hell are they? Finally, she takes notice of you. The wrinkles on her face harden immediately. What are you looking at? She juts the thumb toward the massive gate behind her. Nobody gets in the fortress without permission. I can already tell you don't have it, so keep walking. You look worried about something? What's wrong? He's getting too sympathetic. She gives you a wry grin. It's that obvious. You'd be worried too if you had two patrols go missing and you were stuck on guard duty.
Updated my journal.
Listen, if you happen to see my missing soldiers, I'd appreciate whatever news you can give me. They'll be outfitted like me. She indicates her studded leather armor. I'd go looking for them myself, but she gives a kind of surrendered shrug, leaving her thought unfinished. Where should I start looking for your missing patrols?
Updated my journal.
Both of the patrols were tasked with collecting duties from the gangs. They're probably somewhere in the vast interior or one of the slums, but I haven't heard from them in some time. Given the nature of the bloom, they could be literally anywhere. Where again? Turn the vast interior. Oh, maybe one of the slums. You don't find them, it'll be lucky to see them again. Any of them again. If I find your missing people, will you let me inside? She gives you a pitying look. I don't decide who gets in. I just keep everyone else out. But if you find my men, I'll give you something for your trouble. Okay, I'll take shins. Shins are good. Or, ciphers. Ciphers are good. Numenera. Numenera are good. Why can't you tell me about the Mavericks? She's someone you don't want to cross, like me. Where should I look for your patrols again? No. What can you tell me about yourself? Right, I've heard about you folks from folks in the cliffs. I guess I can't get away from you without answering some questions, can I? Yeah, I know, it's like I'm going around to everyone emptying out their conversation trees. I've been in the Mavericks service for years, ever since she first came into power. She's not one to mess with, let me tell you. She'll squash anyone in her way just to keep things tidy. She gets a faraway look in her eyes. At least that's how it used to be. Things are different now. The Bloom's acting strange, and even some of the gangs are getting out of control. Never crossed the Mavericks, but these days it seems there are plenty of others you shouldn't cross either. I used to think we kept the Blooms safe for most anyway. I should know better. Nobody's safe in here. You say, I am a traveling biographer. Please tell me your life story. Hi, I'm selling these fine leather jackets. No, wait. You said the Bloom is acting strangely? What could it mean? It used to be that the Bloom sort of favored us because we worked for the Mavericks. She seemed to predict things it would do, or new maws that would open, but now it's dangerous for us to go too deep, else the Bloom itself might swallow some of us whole. That's if we can find our way in the first place. With the maws closing and shifting like they are, it's a wonder my patrols ever get back to the fortress at all. The gangs are out of control. Can you tell me something about them? Too many to tell, but I can list a few you're likely to find nearby. There's the Murdens down where the old slave block used to be. Oh yeah, we got to go and beat some of them up soon. We tried to run them out a few times, but there always seem to be more. Can't figure out why the Bloom doesn't bother them. There's the mutants in little Nihiliesh, and little. There's the mutants in Little N. Let me point out that they named the place like they're trying to make a new Nihiliesh right here, with them as the rulers. They didn't used to give us trouble, but they've gotten bolder since the Bloom started acting up. I'm not sure which is worse at this point. Then there's Artaglio and his bunch. They stay mostly in the slump. They're not so much a gang as they are a bunch of freeloaders, but they cause enough trouble with the other gangs that they're worth mentioning. Alright. I need to see the Mavericks. She places a casual hand on the hilt of a large blade. Nobody sees the Mavericks, not unless you got permission from someone who matters. I have permission to see the Mavericks. No, don't lie. You don't understand! I need to see the Mavericks! I'm afraid you don't understand. If you persist in your ignorance, I know of one sure way to get it into your head. She grips the hilt of her blade more tightly and sneers. Let me know if I'm not getting through to you. Tell me about the gangs again. Who are they again? In decrease in order of trouble, there's the Murdens in the old slave block, the mutants of so-called Little Nihiliesh, and Artaglio and his freeloaders. Mercenaries. All of them are more work for me and my men. Alright, well, that's good to know. Farewell! Okay. We have plumbed the depths of this area. And the only things we haven't done is fought this person and drunk from this well. So we're going to go ahead. And and we could, purchase the slave. We actually technically do have enough to purchase the one slave he's offering if we want to go there, but there is other stuff that I need to do right now. And also, we may need money to buy other things, so, I gotta get a feel for everything before I start, dealing with sort of the economic thing of this. But we will get to it. We will deal with it. We are saving the game one more time. hopefully. We think, probably. I mean, it's going to auto-save anyway, but it's good to have the position saved, you know. Alright. Leaving! But that is interesting. I think... Yeah, there's a plot line involving Rin where I think we're supposed to send her out through through one of the exits in the bloom. Okay, we're going to the main menu at this point. Yay! Okay. All right. Well, that's that. Let me go ahead and start that up. Okay. And back to me. Hello. Thank you all very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I am actually looking forward to proceeding on this. I think we are in the final arc of this freaking game, finally, after however many years I've been playing this. 2 years? Something like that? Maybe 3? 2? 3? Something like that. So this is going to be very cool, getting to finally deal with everything and sort of see where everything goes. There's a lot of very heavy stuff that it gets into, so that's something going to be something to deal with. But I do want to try and do the best we can here and you know, deal with everything. We've got Eratus' story to finish up in here, and I think maybe then he'll be gone. So we want to consider that. Also, obviously, if we finish up Rin's story in here, she's going to be gone. She's going to be gone, so that's something else we have to consider. So we might want to try and pick up more companions. Tiber's hanging around. We might try to grab him again. Help convince people of things. And then we have an item that might help us get back some of the other people that we've left. Yes, Namir, thank you very much for hanging out. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you all for stopping by. What I'm gonna... Let's see. What else is happening on this... in my various things before I go. Tomorrow... tomorrow I am over on Weave the Tale, playing in their campaign of Fate of Cthulhu. We have a... we're about halfway through at this point. Time traveling back to stop the King in Yellow. I am playing 3 different people who are the same person in that now. So we'll see how that goes and if I can hold my brain together to do that. There's been a bit of costuming that's been happening recently, sadly. that I've started doing, and we'll see how that goes. Let's see, on Sundays, back over here on this channel, when we're all available, and Sunday afternoons we have our game of Dark Matter. This is the Mage Hand Press Dark Matter, not the Alternity Dark Matter. So it's fantasy stuff in space. Getting ready to start our final arc over there. On Tuesday nights here, I am running a short campaign of Urban Shadows, which is set in present-day Rome, Italy. And I'm very much looking forward to getting back to that. We haven't been able to the last couple of weeks for various real-life reasons. Hopefully we'll be back to it this week. I keep my fingers crossed, hope we can get back to it. And that's pretty much, I think, everything. When I have the opportunity, I have started playing Cities Skylines here. I don't know how to say words anymore. I have started playing Cities Skylines every few days here. It might be settling down on Wednesdays that seems to be happening more often than not. I'm just enjoying slowly building a city, so that's very nice. It's also very chill, which is good. Then, of course, I'll be doing more of this probably on Fridays if I can, for a while, and we'll sort of go from there. So more of this in about a week's time. So, when we hit the end card, I'm going to go ahead and send a raid over to somebody. There are a few different people streaming currently that I wanted to kind of... that I was thinking about possibly going and saying hi to. there are some folks over at a few different channels doing a few different things. I'm looking at Table Story and Gen Con TV a little bit, and Roll20, and I'm also looking at possibly Tabletop Horde. We have not rated them for some time. They're playing a video game. Probably actually end up rating them, I think. Lest I find other things that I at the last moment. It'll be one of the people I just mentioned, I think. So we're going to go over and say hi to them. And feel free to hang on if you're so inclined to say hi to them with us. That again is when we leave the end card. And oh yes, I see. Yes, thank you. Those games that I'm participating in currently, I'm having a lot of fun with them, so I'm very much looking forward to them. And also, yeah, City Skylines turning out to be better this time around than it was the last time I played. So I'm looking forward to getting back too. So that'll be soon. In the meantime, folks, though, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I will see you all of a sudden.